I'll take Kentucky and Mexico. You guys go to Australia.
Hey everybody, Josh and Trevor here for another Whiskey Wednesday for Argonaut Wine and Liquor. Super excited today. We've got some really cool stuff. We got some great things from our friends over at Heaven Hill. We're going to be doing the Henry McKenna Bonded, the 7-year Heaven Hill Bottled and Bond, as well as Elijah Craig Barrel Proof, and then it is kind of Octoberfest season, so we wanted to take some time and talk about, you know, some of the Octoberfest things we got going on as well.
Absolutely, and the fun thing is, we got a pretty decent drop of these today. So these are all available on the end cap at the end of the bourbon aisle at the Argonaut right now. So
yeah, absolutely, and we got a pretty good amount, so should last through the end of the day-ish would be my guess. You never know though.
You never know. Yeah.
So first is the Henry McKenna 10-year.
McKenna 10, always a classic. This used to be my go-to every day available. I would always tell people, you know, 10-year bottled and bond, single barrel for like $40.
Right.
How can you beat that? And apparently I told too many of you because it went from being an everyday item to it is now allocated. So
yeah, I remember when it went allocated, it won gold in San Francisco, or double gold in San Francisco, and then the next day our distributor was like, yeah, we can't get any more of that.
Right.
So
pretty classic bourbon nose, man. I get like
almost a little mapley on the nose, like molasses, maple.
Yeah, those like molasses, brown sugar. That's good. What's fun about McKenna too is it's a single barrel, so each batch is different.
Right. Which we had already done this once, but obviously this batch is going to be different than the next because, as you said, it's a single barrel, so it'll be different, a little bit different every single time. So some of the favorite whiskeys in the world are like that as well. Like Blanton's is always a single barrel, so it'll always be a little different. The Wild Turkey Rare Breed, again, single barrel will be a little different every time. You get to try something new every time you try it.
Absolutely, always good stuff. Great on the palate. I can see why it's so popular. You get a little bit of spice, some good oak, kind of dry finish. Long finish too.
It's interesting because it's dry on the finish, but it has that like molasses brown sugar up front. Yeah. And those two don't normally go together.
For sure.
But that is really interesting that it's got both.
Yeah.
Up next, Heaven Hill 7-year bottled and bond. This came out about a year ago?
About a year.
Yeah. I remember when it came out, it was a huge deal. It's really good. I've had several bottles at home since then.
Absolutely, yeah. They used to do a like kind of Kentucky only 6-year bottled and bond that was very popular. They discontinued that to go with the national, added an extra year. But it's been very popular, and we've been getting a decent amount of it this year, which is really nice.
Yeah. On the nose, compared to this one, much more oaky. Definitely you get a lot more of the wood.
Yeah, not as sweet. I get like wood and then some spice notes in there.
Absolutely.
Palate follows fairly close. Get some good sweetness at the beginning, but then I get spice and oak.
Yeah, the finish is just big spice, big oak. You're right, and not, oaky can sort of go nutty sometimes. This isn't really that. This is, closer to, some spices, some of those types of notes.
Absolutely. Get like a little leathery thing. Really good. I'm a big fan of this one as well. You can't. The guys at Heaven Hill do a great job. They don't make anything bad. So yeah.
That's very true. Both of these guys are on the shelf at $42.99, everyday low priced. And next we've got the Elijah Craig Barrel Proof.
The big boy.
Yeah.
This one it's allocated, but it's usually pretty easy to find. And it's a fantastic whiskey. I mean, 12-year barrel proof for $60.
127.6 on this one.
Yeah. Man, big nose. Big dark fruits, like brown sugar. Fantastic mouthfeel. I think that's one of the biggest things you get in these cast strength whiskeys is just that oily, viscous, not watered down, just big flavor bomb. This one's a flavor punch, and it's good.
Definitely coats your tongue for sure. You get it kind of right at the front at the beginning, and it just kind of moves back and sits on the palate.
Yeah, it doesn't drink hot.
No.
This is batch B520. These are all different batches, so you're going to get different taste and flavor profiles. Really fantastic. Yeah, this one I think $62.99. Like I said, for a 12-year cast strength from Heaven Hill. I mean, it's tough to beat.
Yeah, when available, I mean, these are some of the best values in the store for sure.
Absolutely. And like I said, allocated, but not to the level of some things. We see these semi-regularly.
Yeah, especially recently, we've been getting a bigger stream of these, which has been great.
Yeah.
It's been awesome for my personal whiskey.
Yeah, no
cabinet.
complaints for us. For sure.
Yeah. So we are smack dab in the middle of Octoberfest season. So we wanted to, try some Octoberfest beer and, give a little bit of the history, which I didn't really know until today. Apparently, what we were told was that Marzen means March in German, and you used to not be able to brew beer during the summer months because it was too warm. So you would brew this beer in March to release in October for Octoberfest.
Yeah. September and October, yeah. I've actually been to Octoberfest in Munich. Definitely go if you can. It's a lot of fun. It's just so cool. I spent like 3 days down there on a big family trip to Germany, which is where my family's from. It's fantastic. Oktoberfest is super fun. It's such an international party. I kind of hung out with like different groups of people every night. I was hanging out with a bunch of people from Japan one night, a bunch of Australians, then a bunch of local Germans another night. It's awesome. The one we're drinking today is the actual German one that we brought, Spaten Oktoberfest. This is actually my favorite Oktoberfest beer and one of the tents that I hung out in when I was at Oktoberfest. So.
Yeah. And kind of with all these, they are lagers, but you've got a lot more of the malt nose.
Yeah, absolutely. More body. I'm not the biggest beer guy, and the beers I do like are like lagers, pilsners, German, kind of Mexican style. So Oktoberfest is one of my favorite times of year. A lot of Oktoberfest beers are darker in color, but they're not super dark taste-wise. They're pretty easy drinking, crisp. Yeah.
Right, and a lot of people think, dark beers are either going to be really malty or really hoppy, and this really isn't. It's pretty, easy drinking, smooth.
A sessionable beer, for sure.
Absolutely sessionable.
And like I said, we've got a big selection of the actual German beers, but then a lot of great local breweries do an Oktoberfest. So we've got Copper Kettle, WiBi, Left Hand, a bunch of them do it. So,
yeah, it's a really popular style, and I love the Colorado craft take on a lot of Oktoberfest or different styles.
Prost does a great one. I mean, everybody does one.
Yeah, anybody who messes around at all with German style beer does one of these because they're just that good.
Absolutely. Yeah. And it's a lot of fun. Like I said, if you ever get the chance, it's definitely a trip worth making. Munich's an amazing city, and Oktoberfest is one of those things that everybody should try to get to once in their lifetime if you can.
Absolutely, definitely just an experience.
For sure. Yeah. But,
awesome.
Yeah.
Cool. So, like we said, we've got a limited amount of these available today. So come on down, give them a shot. Cheers.
Cheers, guys.